Hey guys, David Essel here. I'm waiting. I see this thing saying you're live, then it went away, then it came back. Hey, we're live. 43 years now in the world of personal growth as the number one best-selling author, counselor, and so much more. I want to talk. I love doing these videos because I want to continue to share. Did you know that every challenge I've ever gone through in life has to do with mental health? Every challenge I've ever gone through has to do with mental health. And I think it's going to be the same for you when I go ahead and explain all this. It's incredible how crucial it is that we pay attention to our mental health. Too many times people say, well, the whole reason behind this is my genetics, or the reason behind that is that the job, the boss didn't like me and fired me. It wasn't my fault. But everything I'm talking about, addictions, struggles with money, struggles with relationships, they all come down to issues with our mental health. Wow. 43 years ago, when I started this work in counseling, coaching, becoming a number one best-selling author and all these other things, I never would have thought I would be saying this. But I personally have gone through so many mental health challenges, my Lord, depression, anxiety, a failed suicide attempt, addictions for 30 years, bankruptcy, a divorce. I mean, I've gone through everything that most people go through in life, right? And what I've found is that the foundation for recovery, the foundation for bounce back is how are we taking care of our mental health? What are we doing with our mindset? What are we watching? What are we listening to? What are we reading? Who are we hanging out with? Are they for us or against us? In other words, are they people that are proactive go-getters, or are they individuals that complain and nag all the time? You see, your mental health is everything. When you're anxious, your creativity is shot. When you're depressed, your creativity is shot. When you're in an unhealthy relationship, it affects every area of your existence. When you can't lose weight and you're getting depressed and maybe you're gaining more weight, that's a mental health issue. Alcohol, a mental health issue. Emotional spending, a mental health issue. Gambling, a mental health issue. Porn addiction, sex addiction. Everything we're going through ends up becoming a mental health issue. So what do we do? Well, I can tell you, when I first went through and found that I had 30 years of undiagnosed anxiety, 30 years of undiagnosed depression, I mean, you have to really look at that and say, how the heck could I survive, right? Well, I did it by self-medicating, workaholism, alcohol, drugs, etc. And so I was able to minimize my feeling of depression and anxiety by doing outside sources, self-medication, et cetera, et cetera. But we need to have even something stronger than that. So I'm going to give you a few keys right now. And comment below. Do you agree with me that every challenge in life becomes a mental health challenge? Many challenges in life are caused because our mental health isn't as strong, our confidence isn't as strong, our self-esteem isn't as strong. It all goes back to freaking mental health. When you have really high levels of self-confidence, really high levels of self-esteem, which is self-love, when you're humble, when you're vulnerable, when you're forgiving, this is where your power is in the world of mental health. This is a grounded mental health warrior. You can forgive yourself and you can forgive others. You can raise your hand and say that I was wrong. You can take other people's advice without instantly pushing back. Sit and listen. Think for a few days. Maybe what they have to say is accurate, even if you thought that they never give you any great advice. As kids, right, we never thought our parents gave us great advice, most kids. And then we find out later on in life, we wake up and go, oh my God, they were right 90% of the time, right? So, but that strong mental health foundation, high self-confidence, high self-esteem, and that means that peer pressure means nothing. Your best friend gets a $5,000 purse and you congratulate her, walk away, and you feel nothing, no jealousy, no envy. I need a $5,000 purse, right? Like, this is powerful mental health, where you're not going to allow peer pressure to get you to use drugs, alcohol, to buy things you really can't afford or don't even want, for God's sake. Too many times we are keeping up with the Joneses, which is the opposite of powerful mental health. Comment below as we're talking. Does this make sense to you? That we really have to start that foundation of mental health now. As a matter of fact, we created a brand new certification, the Mental Health and Master Life Coach certification, coming up in a very short period of time. I'll be putting the information below. Go to davidessel.com or talkdavid.com. We're going to go over all of this. And when you come out of the 30-hour certification, not only are you going to have the most incredible in-depth understanding of how the mind works, the body works, but you're going to be able to help other people do the same thing. I've been teaching certifications and as a life coach for other life coaches, certifying them in my program since 1996. One of the coolest things that always happens at the end of every 30-hour certification is the individuals in the courses will come up to me and say, David, I have learned more about what I need to do to change my life than I could have ever believed. And years later, I still hear from these people going, oh my God, when I took your course, yes, I turned it into a part-time business. Yes, I turned it into a full-time business. We even have people that have taken our courses and never coached. They got so much out of it that they just rocked in a new direction. So whatever, mental health and master life coach certification coming up soon. We're way ahead of the curve, and we're encouraging you to get ahead of the curve too and join us there. Number one, for you, and then number two, to help others heal, because that's all we've been doing for 43 years. I'm David Essel. Have a beautiful day.